All right. All right. Good morning. Hello, everyone. It is Wednesday, August 7th. I know what day it is today because it is my middle brother's birthday. So shout out to Caleb Peterson today, who has a birthday. I always remember this day because my mom was super pregnant and she was doing sweet corn, and that's where you take all the corn that you have out in the field that you can eat and you bring it in and you prepare it and you do the harvest. You reap the benefits of the harvest, right? And you prepare that for winter, just like those ancient ways. And she was doing that. And then we went swimming because it was really hot. And then she went into labor that night, and I woke up the next morning and I had a baby brother. So shout out to my middle brother, Caleb, today. And welcome to Coffee Chats. And ironically, guess what I did yesterday? You guys know what I did? I did corn yesterday all day long. My husband and I reaped the harvest and honored rituals and ancient ways of preserving for the winter, which is something we've gotten out of tune with, but that's for another episode. So welcome to Coffee with Katie. My name's Katie Glasgow, if we've never hung out, if we've never chatted. And this is my weekly chat to bring you into my home so we can gather, we can talk about all different things. We might be talking about business and entrepreneurship and health and life and all the things that we need to live a magical life, okay? Because why do we talk about everything? At first, I was like, oh, this might be confusing my audience. But then I realized is that I don't believe you can have one without the other. I think that to have success in business, you have to have success in life. And to have success in life, you have to have success in business. Just like if you want to have physical healing, you have to have emotional, and it all goes together. It's all a great big giant wheel. And so we have to talk about all of it. So when you join me on these coffee chats, we're probably going to be pulling in a lot of different things. So grab your brew and let's get started. So today we are going to talk about destinations and getting to where you want to be. And I'm going to be pulling in some of the biggest things that I've seen as an entrepreneur myself and in entrepreneurial lifestyle is how to get where we want to be in life, and some of the top three things that we really need to focus in on. And I am going to gear this a little bit more toward entrepreneurs because I know a lot of my audience, you are entrepreneurs, you're out there killing it, whether that is you're building a doTERRA business with me, you're one of my colleagues in doTERRA, or maybe you're in another network marketing or another entrepreneurial gig. That's why we're going to talk about this today. But I want you to hang out even if you're not an entrepreneur, because a lot of what I'm going to say, it pertains to everything. Because remember, everything's a giant wheel and we all go together, and you can't have one thing without the other. Just like you can't have peanut butter without the jelly, you can't have a hot dog without ketchup and mustard, you know, all the things. So welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. So a couple of things first. I've got a diffuser running in my office because I always have a diffuser because I'm a little essential oil obsessed. And I'm going to start telling you what I'm diffusing every day when we start this chat, because I think you want to know, and I'm bringing you into my home so you want to know what my space is like. So today I actually have sandalwood, which is this beautiful oil that helps us connect up to what our mission, what our purpose is, and what we are here to do. It's this beautiful divine oil, and it's also super grounding. So it kind of brings me down because sometimes I get so excited to be on here with you that I get a little over the top. And so that's going to help me stay grounded and stay centered. And also when I'm on these coffee chats, I am doing a lot of energetic work, intuitive work on who is ever joining me live or later on, and I'm connecting with each and every single one of your energetic blueprints. And I want to make sure that I am spiritually ready and sound to be that beautiful vehicle and that light for you today. So I love to diffuse grounding oils, and today my choice was sandalwood. And I've paired it with this beautiful oil called Elevation. And Elevation is a blend that we have in doTERRA, and it is a beautiful blend that helps us be lifted up and happy and joyful and ready to take on the world. And that is what today is all about. And so those are the two oils that I've paired it with. And in my owl cup from my beautiful sister, I have just plain black coffee. Nothing crazy, nothing exciting, but I love the ritual of coffee in the morning time, and it's so beautiful. So I'm going to take a drink to that. Grab your oils, grab your brew. Now let's get in. So yesterday I was out on a walk, and I try to walk 3 miles every day with my dog, and I live by the lake, so it's really beautiful. It's peaceful. there's nothing more grounding and centering for me than being around nature so that I can reconnect with my roots, get centered, get focused. We live in this beautiful world, but this beautiful world we live in is full of a lot of chaos. We have constant input coming into us, whether it's through the internet, whether it's through TV, whether it's from media sources, our family, whatever. We constantly have input coming into us. And so it's really important that we daily figure out something that helps us connect back in so that we can kind of tune back into our own radio station, right? Instead of getting sidetracked and all over the place. And so I was out on a walk. Walk is what does that for me. And also movement helps me to flow and ideas come to me. And I was almost home and it was getting a little hot out because I didn't get out as early as I wanted to. And I started to think I was on this beautiful path and there was the woods around me. And I started to think about my destination right now is I want to get home. I need to get home. I'm about a mile away and I need to get home. So my thought was, how do I get home? I take one foot and I put it in front of the other and I continue to walk on that path until I get home. Okay. I'm not going to get home unless I put one foot in front of the other. There's not a magical hoverboard. My kids are obsessed right now with Back to the Future and my 8-year-old wants to make a hoverboard. But I didn't have a hoverboard and I don't have anything out there except my 2 feet. And I need to get home. And so the only way for me to get home to my destination is to be in movement and to put one foot in front of the other. Now, I want you to really think about that because, I can't just think of that and think about getting home. I think about our destinations always in life. And sometimes, many times, for many of us, we get so caught up in the destination of where we're going and so caught up in the grandiosity of that or grandiosity of that or whatever that word is. Okay. I'm not that great. I know what word I'm trying to say. You guys get it. We get so caught up in the bling of where we're going or trying to figure out what's our purpose here in life. I've been talking to a lot of people lately about their purpose and their mission. And we get so caught up in that we get frozen in fear. Or we get frozen in overwhelm because we can't possibly see where that's going, or that destination is so big that we try to figure out all the pieces to get there. And so we freeze and we put ourselves in the fetal position and we curl up in a little ball and we don't go anywhere. And the reality is we need to take the steps. That's all we need to do. We have to figure out, our job is to figure out what is the next step in my journey? What is the next step in my path? Where am I going next? Right? So maybe you've got this big business goal, and I'm going to tell you right now, August is this beautiful month of manifestation and movement and flow and the energy. The cosmos are aligned in this most beautiful way for us this month to kick off not just August, but to kick off August, September, October, November, and December, and to have this beautiful 5 months of, it's like we've been working up to what we're supposed to be doing, and the path might start to shift right now. This is really common, and I think this is why this idea was given to me and put on my heart to speak to you about today, is because we are in this process of change. It's time to take another step out. It's time to take the next step, but we can't worry so much about the destination, because if we get too wrapped up in the destination and too wrapped up in where we're going, sometimes we get caught, we get too stuck, right? We get stuck and we don't know what to do. We need to take a next step, okay? The next step. So as you go into your journey this month and as you go into your next day, I invite you to always be looking ahead and kind of knowing kind of where you're going. It's kind of like you're going on a road trip. It's family vacation time right now, okay? So I know that I might be going to St. Louis. A couple weeks ago, I went to St. Louis. I know I'm going to St. Louis. I know that I have a couple of activities that my kids want to do and a couple of places that they want to eat. I know that I have to get in my car and go somewhere. I have to drive about 5 and a half, 6 hours with my kids to get there. But I don't have to know all the details. What's the next step? What's the next step is I'm preparing for that trip. Okay, so I have to back into that. You guys all do this. Most of you are already doing this every single time you go to get the kids ready for school. Okay, I'm going to get the kids ready for school today. I have to set my alarm. I have to set their alarms. I have to get them up. We have a routine and a ritual. We're going on a trip. I know I have to make sure the bags are packed. So to make sure the bags are packed, I have to make sure the clothes are washed. I need to make sure that there's gas in the car. I need to make sure the dog is taken care of. I need to make sure I'm not so concerned. I know that St. Louis is my destination, but I'm constantly worrying, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? What if you did that in your life? What if you thought, okay, I want to open up a cupcake shop, or I want to kill it in network marketing, and I want to get all the way to the top in network marketing. What's my next step? What do I do? If we get so paralyzed in the fear of where we're going, we are not going to get there. I talk about this all the time with the people that I mentor and coach in doTERRA. I say, you know what? You might want to go to the top income levels. You might want to get there. Do you even know if you're going to like it yet? You just got started. You just got oils in your home. Let's focus on the next step. The next step is that you use those oils and you love those oils, okay? Just like if you're opening up a cupcake shop, you love cupcakes and you love to bake. If you open up a cupcake shop and you don't love to bake, you are in trouble, okay? And then you continue on. So I tell people, love your oils. And then we're going to figure out how to get your oils paid for. And then after that, we're going to go from there. Sometimes we look so big at our why or our mission or our destination that we forget that all we have to do is take one step. I'm doing this in front of you guys now because I think that you can all see my feet and you can't. One foot in front of the other. One foot. What is your next step? Okay. So this kind of leads me into what I really wanted to talk to you about today. And that is what I see the biggest holdbacks, what holds people back from success. And number one is that you don't know where you're too focused in on the destination. You're not just doing those daily activities, those daily routines. If I want to lose, and again, you can bring this into anything. It does not have to be entrepreneurship. It could be you want to have more peace in your home. You want a better schedule. Okay. So the first thing you're going to have to do is look at your current schedule and say, what do I need to say no to? Maybe you want to eat healthy. Okay. Eating healthy doesn't happen overnight. Believe me, I've tried. And what I find is if we try to do a confused mind, an overwhelmed mind does not take action. So don't try like all these like 30-day programs out there that want you to all of a sudden start working out an hour a day. They want you to eat crazy. They want you to they want you to eliminate all the foods that you love. They want you to do all that. Stop right now. There is no magic beans. Stop right now. Okay. We need to just pause and be like, okay, let's drink water this week. Let's make it super simple and let's drink 100 ounces of water this week. And when you've mastered that water, then we're going to move something else on. Okay. It's not about putting so much control on ourselves and making so many changes at once because our brain and our body become overwhelmed and we shut down. And that is why we do not progress forward because we're so consumed and we get confused. So that's probably the number one reason that people don't have success is that we try to do too much all at once and we don't just focus in on the small steps every single day. Okay? Small steps every single day. The second thing is that where I see a lot of this with entrepreneurs and everything, again, it all goes back to being almost the same thing. You can look at this in any way you want to look at it, is that we think there's magic beans. We think there is a product that can make us lose weight in 20 minutes if we drink something that's pink or we drink something that's yellow or red or whatever, which probably has a lot of artificial shit in it that's making us whatever. We think that we have magic beans in whatever we do. We're always looking for the shortcut, right? Just like the destination, to get to the destination, instead of putting one foot in front of the other, we're looking for the hoverboard. We're looking for the airplane, the jet setter airplane that gets us from point A to point B like that, okay? We're constantly seeking the magic beans. And I am sorry, there are no magic beans in anything you do. There are no magic beans. And I'm going to bring this around to entrepreneurship. A lot of people think, oh, I'm going to get into network marketing because network marketing is where there's magic beans and you can make a whole bunch of money really fast and you can be at the top and you can be successful super, super fast. Bullshit. It does not work like that. Okay. Now, my husband and I are at the top of our company in network marketing, and this is our gig. This is our gig that we both do. There was no magic beans to get here. Let me tell you, this is hours of dedication. This is consistent actions over and over and over again. This is doing the actions daily, right? This is making sacrifices. This is all the things. But you know what? I would not trade it for anything. I would not trade it for anything, because this is still better than any alternative that we could ever have. So maybe some weeks I do work 40 to 50 to 60 hours a week in my network marketing business. But my husband, one time he came home from his job with one of the largest construction companies in the world. We had job security, we had stock, we had insurance benefits, we had all the things, but that company owned him and his stress was through the roof. Okay. His stress was through the roof. His health was failing. He was never home. So our home life wasn't really that great, because he was home 3 days a week or 3 days a month, because he traveled all over. And if he wasn't traveling, he was home for basically to sleep at night. Okay. That was not healthy for our family, right? We had security, but it wasn't healthy. So we were working that. And he comes home one day and he says to me, "What did you do today?" And I said, "I worked on our doTERRA business." He says, "Let's rephrase that. What you do is not work. It's your passion." Okay. And he was absolutely 100% positive. It was my passion. And you have to be aligned with your goals when you have to be aligned with whatever you're doing. But I still was putting in the hours. Okay. So when it's your passion, sometimes you forget the hours, but you still have to put in the hours. Okay. No matter what you're doing, you still have to put in the work. If you want to be able to run a marathon, you can't just go out your front door on marathon day and run 26 miles. I've done it. It's not that easy. You have to train. I think I trained for 6 months for a marathon, and that was after training for like multiple half marathons. Okay. And I still had to put one foot in front of the other to finish a race. Nothing is magic beans, and you cannot think that it will be or that it is. No matter what, you are going to have to put in the hours. And what I see a lot of people do is they put it together, and it's like they're hobby jobby. Oh, I'm going to do this because so-and-so's doing it, and I want to get, I want to get my products paid for, or I want to get to that next level. And there are dreams and there are big things that happen. One of my biggest jobs and one of my things I love the most is inspiring others to dream. But I also want to be real with your dreams. I want to make sure you're always in alignment. So ask yourself, how much am I willing to put in to get there? Okay. The same thing with your health goals, with your exercise, your movement. Do you align with what your goals are, right? So if you say you want to share essential oils with somebody, or you want to do a fitness program, or if you want to do anything, do you have time in your calendar, or is it an afterthought? And after everything else is done, you're going to say, "Oh, I think I'm going to do that." It doesn't work like that. Okay. My schedule first is our top priority. Our top priority is kids' activities, right? Our top priority is our health. So we're making sure that we have all those blocked in, and then it's our business. But the reality is, because our business, and we're going into a season where our business is our priority. And so there's probably going to be kids' activities that we skip, right? Like one of us will be there at them, but not both of us, because I have a priority that's going to take us somewhere else. Okay. Does that make sense? There's going to be sacrifice to have magic beans. There's no magic beans. Okay. Bottom line, no magic beans. I think you get where I'm going. Okay. Just like there's no hoverboard to get to your destination. Step by step by step, you have to put in the training every single day. Okay. And this is one of the number one mistakes I see people make. So number one, you're just not aligned. Number two, you got the other stuff going on. Okay. So you're the magic beans. Okay. Just to hold on 1 second. Hey, Nate. See, you're in my house. So guess what? We're going to have a pause break right here, because I got to answer the door for the neighborhood kid that wants to play with the 8-year-old. Just go up to his room, okay? Or no, he's in the basement. All right, your commercial's over. If you had to go potty or get a coffee, whatever. Okay, so now The number 3 reason that, so we're not taking steps, we're looking too much at the destination. We think there's magic beans, okay? And number 3, my top 3 reason that people aren't successful in getting to their destination is that they refuse to look in the mirror and do the work on themselves. Sit with that a second. To get anywhere in life, we have to look within. We can't blame others. We can't constantly think that, we have to own us. We have to own us. And when we own us, we own our business or we own our life. So don't let your kids be the excuse that you're not working out, right? Because you can always figure out something. Believe me, you can always, if you want it bad enough, you can figure out something. I promise you. Okay. You can put your kids in a stroller and you can take them for a walk with you, because then you're showing them that exercise is really important, right? You can have a gym membership where they're in a kids club, right? And you get your time and they get their time. Okay. You can maybe ask your husband to watch them or be part of them, because I find a lot of people that they actually have all the support they need, which is totally another topic, but we have all the support we need. We're just refusing to ask for it. Okay. You might need to make sacrifices, but you have to look in the mirror. You have to look in the mirror and you have to put in the personal development work. Okay. Especially if you've never, and you might need a trainer, you might need a coach in this journey. Okay. So if you have never, this is what I explain to my husband sometimes. I said, you know what, if your tennis game needs to be improved, you hire a tennis coach to help you, right? If you're going to run a marathon, you probably need a support tribe around you. You might need a running coach. I had one, the beautiful Susan Loken. Shout out to Susan today. I had a running coach that helped me learn how to run correctly. Motivation, gave me schedules. Now I did it as part of a charity. So you're thinking, oh, I don't have money to hire a coach. Well, you know what? I did it as part of a charity organization that I was working with, and I raised money to be part of that and to get access to all of those resources because I wanted it so bad that I figured out a way. Do you see that? I didn't sit in my excuses. I figured out a way. Okay. So, and I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I'm better than anybody else. I feel like somebody needs to hear that. I'm saying that because it's what I did because I wanted it, right? I was willing to get out of my own way. I was willing to get out of the fear story, and we all have them. I was listening to something yesterday and she said, well, what's the worst case scenario? You've probably created the worst case scenario in your head already. So how can it get any worse? Continue to move forward, right? You've already created the worst case scenario. So figure out a solution. Figure out a solution. Don't allow yourself to stay in that cycle of fear and fetal position. Okay. So put in the work on yourself, put in the personal development. When I started in my business, I had 4 years of college education in business management and entrepreneurship and management. I had lots of years of 4-H on how to present and things like that, right? Everything I had been doing all of my life had already been brought up to this point, and most of your experiences too, but then I added on. I nourish my brain 2 hours a day because it's my job to do that. It's my job to be on top of my game so I can continue to pour out to you so then you can continue to be on top of your game. Okay, do you see where I'm going with that? Put in the work, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror and say, am I doing the work? Am I putting in the time to create in my life? Does my calendar line up with my goals? Okay. Look in the mirror. If you're stuck in your health goals or whatever that is, hire somebody to help you. Join a team. Like, the internet is full of programs and things like that now. You have all of these resources. Everything's here. Look inside of you and be willing to put in the personal work. Okay. So let's recap. Let's recap now. Okay. So we're going to the destination. Don't get so caught up in the destination that you forget that you just need to take steps, because there are no magic things. And here's the part I want to close with, is that there's so much joy in the walk, right? Are you out on the trail just worried so much about getting back home so you can do XYZ and all of the things? Or are you putting one foot in front of the other, and are you looking around at the beauty around you? Are you just looking at your feet and all the steps, or are you looking because the journey always has beauty in it? The journey is where you discover you, if you're willing to do it. The journey is part of the destination. And so don't skip it, because all the steps to get to St. Louis, or to get to New York City, or to get to the top of your company, they're all there to teach you lessons. And it's all just one step, one foot in front of the other, that will allow you to create your life of magic. Okay. So you've got some assignments today. I want you to reevaluate. I want you to look at your life, and I want you to ask yourself, what's my priority now? Where would I like my destination to be? And then what's my next step? What's my next step today? What's my next step this week? What's my next step this month? Okay. Continue to ask yourself. I'm just checking out Instagram, guys. If you're watching the recording, wondering why my eyes are going this way, there's some good comments coming in. I'm going to get to those, don't worry. But what's my next step? Where are you going? Are you willing to look at the mirror? What's holding you back? Do you have excuses? Take those excuses and figure out a solution. Ask yourself, what do I really want? Okay. And then check in with somebody. If you don't have anybody to check in with me. Surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up, that are going to help you create this magical life. Not make you. Nobody can make you do anything. I can't make you do anything. I can only speak truth to you. That's all I can do. Okay. So that's what I have for you this week. And I think this is on my heart because you all needed to hear it. And I probably needed to hear it myself, because sometimes I get so wrapped up in the destination that I forget the steps. And here's the reality, is that your creator, for me, that's God. For you, that can be whoever. They have a bigger plan for you than you probably really realize. So if you get too caught up in the destination, you might be going in the wrong direction. So ask yourself daily the steps, because that might get you in a completely different direction than you've never been before, by asking yourself what the next step is. So today I close with that. Ask yourself the next step. All right. So I've got a lot of exciting stuff coming, like a lot of creation mode going on right now, a lot of exciting stuff. This was the beginning of it. So stay tuned, and I want to make sure you're all on my VIP list, so that as I launch and roll out some stuff, that you're going to be the first to know. So if you have not signed up for my Empath guide yet, I would love for you to go over to magicwithkatie.com/empath guide. I'm going to put it in the show notes. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on all the links that you have. Go and grab that guide, because it's chock full of a lot of information to give yourself those tools to give yourself a magical life. Then you're going to be on my VIP list for something exciting that I have that's going to come out in September. And so get ready for that. If you want to connect before that, I always do free consults and free clarity calls, so we can figure out how to work together. Maybe that's in doTERRA, maybe that's with oils, maybe that's with energy. Everybody's different and everybody's unique. And so I love to do clarity calls to see how I can support you more. So please make sure to click and add one of those. You can find those if you're on Instagram, in my link in my bio. If you're on Facebook, you can find it on my Facebook page, Katie Magic with Katie. And if you're on my website, magicwithkatie.com, everything is there. So a lot of exciting stuff going on. So my wish for you this week is to reevaluate and ask yourself what your next step is. Please share that with me. If this recording, or if this video, or however you're watching this, if this spoke to you today, let me know, and please pass this along to a friend. Share the love and pass along the love to somebody else, because we are living in a broken world and we all need a little love sometimes. And that's what I'm here to do, is I'm here to be the vehicle to share the love with all of you, to share my knowledge that I've gained, and to help us all rise up together. So thanks for joining me with your brew. I look forward to hanging out with you more. Remember, I'm right here every Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I would love to hang out with all of you. So Everyone, have a fabulous day and be magical.